Merry New Year!
Happy New Year. In this country, we say Happy New Year.
Thank you for correcting my English, which stinks.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here is your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mosette, and welcome to episode 623, the Arizona Cardinal edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show as your Seahawks get ready to take on the Cardinals on Sunday. And what can I tell you? When little Mo and I are in the house, you're going to get a Seahawk win. Playoffs, baby. It was the most 2018 thing ever. Hey, we're so glad you decided to join us on our show. We have our usual crew here, our posse in full effect this evening, starting with, of course, the yin to my yang, my partner in crime. It is Pudding Hawk, Matt from Merry Old England. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
I'm fantastic, sir. How are you?
Well, you're lucky to have me, really. You're lucky to have me here at all.
We are. We always are.
Because I'm on shutdown, to be honest. I was playing with some Lego earlier, and I wanted to build a wall on one side, and I thought, no, I'm going to have I'm just going to shut myself down for 5 years until I can decide whether I'm going to build that wall or not.
Do you have a GoFundMe going for it? At least that?
No, I don't have a GoFundMe. I'll never make it to 5 billion.
Well, we'll get a GoFundMe for your Lego wall. And while we're doing that, we'll introduce our news hound, of course, Shadowhawk Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Fantastic, sir. How are you? It's great to see you this weekend.
Yeah, likewise. A little depressed this week, though. Another Christmas, and I didn't get a pony.
Oh, man. Where would you put it in your apartment?
Well, I do have a house, actually, but...
Oh, it's true. You have a house.
I don't think the cat would get along.
The cat would not enjoy the horse, I do not think.
My Little Pony, yes.
No. Someone who has not a horse, but our dog, our mascot, Kona. And that is, of course, Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey. Yeah, I'm back in my house doing the show here instead of Wenatchee because my dog was being an asshole. So.
Kona.
Yep.
Kona,
I get to leave.
Our official pet of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, Kona.
Yep. So I get to go tomorrow morning, drive to Wenatchee, pick up my family, then drive back.
Oh,
so that's going to be fun. About 8 hours.
Thank you, Kona. Thank you, Kona. Yeah. And of course, our man from behind enemy lines, Statsman Mark himself. Mark, how are you?
Hey, everybody. Dustin, inquiring minds want to know, what did Kona do?
She was in a new environment, and she was not comfortable with the new environment, and so she was lashing out. My in-laws have another dog, and she kept trying to fight the dog. We had to keep her downstairs, and the other dog upstairs.
Okay.
And then she lunged at my mother-in-law a couple times.
Wow. You're not the boss of me! You're not my real father!
Honestly, that's kind of my mother-in-law's fault because the way she was approaching her, and I explained to her how to do it so you're in a non-threatening way.
Right.
And she's like, I've had dogs my whole life. And then she leans over and Kona tried to bite her.
So, if you are Dustin's mother-in-law, please address all those to care of Dustin Knight, 12manfanjamshow at gmail.com.
That sounds like my experience with women, Dustin. It's all in the
when he doesn't pay tokens, that's
lamp
what
not understand.
No.
Lamp confused.
Well, hey, Lamp, let's talk about how this show is going to run.
Yes,
shall
let's move it forward.
Let's move forward. Fergie!
Let's get it started in here.
All right, this show's run like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and a halftime. Quarter 1, of course, we have news with our Shadowhawk Will. Quarter 2, we're going to recap that Sunday night victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. At halftime, it is the best Seahawk-themed play-along game on the internet. 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
For the world.
For the world. And our winner last week, I believe, was... who was our winner last week? Was it...
Will. That would be me.
It was Will. That's right. It was Will. Congratulations, Will. Again.
Thank you.
Yes. And in quarter 3, we will put all our information that we have for the Cardinals game. We have the weather. We have fashion. We have numbers. We have all kinds of fun stuff. We put out again in the fourth quarter, make our predictions, prognostications, and game balls for the Cardinals Seahawk game. Before we start, please like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We have a lot of great game day threads on there. Also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Emails 12manfanjamshow at gmail.com. Look for this downloadable podcast of this very show on iTunes and Podbean. Before we go to the first corner, I do have a quick announcement. This is our last game of the regular season. and it means it's time for the 6th annual Fan Jammies, the Fan Jam Awards, 12-Man Fan Jam Show award show, which will be broadcast to be announced, which means based on how the Seahawks do in the playoffs, and usually we have our last show around the Super Bowl time, so that's probably when we'll have our award show. We will keep you up to date on that, but next week for sure, we are going to talk about our award nominations. So we'll tell you how you can join us in voting for the Fan Jammies next show, but not this show. This show, we're going to start off with the first quarter with news. Yes, news from around the NFL with our Shadowhawk Will, brought to you by this week's sponsor, the Red Ryder BB gun. Yes, the official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle with a compass in the stock. You might poke your eye out with it, but you can sure knock those pesky little 5-inch Cardinals off your porch with this beauty. Cardinal broom for clean sweeps also sold separately. Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, the Cardinal season has not been going well, and neither has the Lions season for that matter. First-year coach Matt Patricia hasn't exactly set the world on fire over in Detroit. He has, however, upbraided reporters for slouching too much while asking questions.
Yes, he has.
However, Patricia himself seems to have a problem with showing up to press conferences and other events on time. According to Dave Burkett at the Detroit Free Press, Patricia is routinely late for press conferences, and a former player told him that the same is true for team meetings.
Oh my God!
The press conference for Wednesday was originally pushed back 30 minutes from its original start time, and Patricia came in about 15 minutes after that. He was asked about the importance of punctuality and said, "I think it just depends on the situation, really. It depends. I think fluidity is probably the best answer for you." So,
wow.
Yeah, it's sounding like Patricia, despite his inability to set the alarm on his phone, is going to be around next year, although the same may not be true for our favorite offensive coordinator. That is none other than Jim Bob Cooter.
Jim Bob Cooter. Oh, no! Our favorite. Not Jim Bob.
Not Jim Bob.
No, that doesn't bother me so much about the being late thing and all that, because this is the Army and me team, but whoever, like when we had formation, which would be similar, I guess, to their meeting, if the first sergeant was holding the formation, things didn't get cracking until he showed up. It was his formation. So it's kind of the same thing to me.
Like, well, I'm tired. Look at this guy. I don't think he's been in the Army, but.
If you were late, Dustin, did they give you a code red?
Oh, well, yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
Patricia needs to go.
You order the code red.
He needs to go through boot camp.
It's too bad about Jim Bob Cooter though. We're gonna miss Jim Bob on this show. This was our jam, man.
He's gone. Is he actually gone?
Well, we don't know yet, right?
Okay, we can't.
It's just a rumor.
This is sad Jim Bob Cooter music here.
Yeah, you can't count him out just yet.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, I guess. Patricia has gone to the, do as I say, not as I do. Those that can't coach, apparently. I don't know. That's too bad. What a great example he is setting.
Yeah, he has like that. He's the guy that wears like the sweatshirt with the sleeves ripped off entirely, and there's mustard on the front of his shirt. So, like eating a hot dog. He's just like this freaking pig, out in his car. Like, oh shit, I'm late from the meeting.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was late. There was a long line at McDonald's.
Watching the original Dukes of Hazzard on his phone.
What are you saying?
Dennis gets it.
Woo! I do. Sadly, I do.
Anyway.
So, do as I say and not as I do. And we hope Mr. Patricia, Coach Patricia, for the moment, I guess, gets himself a new alarm clock of some kind. I don't know. Who knows? Will, what else you got for us?
Well, Moses, if the Seahawks beating the Chiefs after losing to the 49ers is the most 2018 thing ever, the 2018 season has been the most Jets thing ever. And it was, looking back on the Jets season, it would be hard to top giving up a 15-point deficit at home and losing last Sunday's game as an epitome of everything that has gone wrong this season. But the Jets are the Jets, and they've managed to top that, or rather bottom that.
Impressive.
Tight end Eric Tomlinson was added to injured reserve on Thursday, which kind of raised some eyebrows at first because he wasn't on the injury report at all from Wednesday. Turns out, according to Rich Cimini of ESPN.com, Tomlinson dropped a weight on his foot in the weight room Wednesday afternoon. He had two lacerated toes and needed surgery to fully repair his foot.
Wow!
Damn.
Oh, damn.
Oh goodness.
Wait a minute.
So
This thing's usually reserved for punters. Don't you remember the Jaguars punter?
It was a kicker. Yeah, it was
it was the axe.
Keep chopping wood, and he chopped his own shin. That is so awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
The things players will do to get out of playing for the Jets on Sunday.
So true. Sad but true. Wow.
Indeed.
That had to be pain. Ooh, that had to be. We're laughing about it, but the guy's probably in a lot of pain.
He's
Oh, wow.
on pain meds. He'll be fine.
He's on pain meds. That's
still
pretty awesome.
That's still an SIW, the self-inflicted weight. It's very clever.
Nice.
Very good. That'll get him out of duty for a little bit anyway. Congratulations to him for not having to finish the season with the Jets, I guess.
Do they play
I don't know his
McCarthy's
contract
Jet for
status,
their
so he
intro?
may have to
That'd be
come back
awesome.
next year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He'll probably have to come back next year. It's very true. Well, it was a nice try anyway. Mark, have you ever done anything to get out of work like that?
Oh man, all the different excuses I use. The key when you're going to miss work, the key is calling and leaving a voicemail before your boss arrives.
Yes.
You don't want to have to lie in person. So
Good advice. Good advice.
Oh man, acid reflux. Oh yeah, you come up with all you run out of the
called in
usual.
for that before. I have
You have?
legitimately called in because of acid reflux issues before. Yeah, because man,
Really?
I get it bad. It'll be up
Oh.
all night, so I won't be able to sleep. So, and I'm not going to work if I can't
Well,
even
yeah,
get it.
that's
And-
the
and-
idea. Since
and you
it
have
can
to-
happen.
You have to vary your excuses, though. I mean, if you
Oh,
say that your grandmother's
yes.
died too many times, they're going to want to see the body
Yeah.
sooner or later.
Well,
It's
the
a
nice
big
thing,
family.
back in the day, they all knew in advance. I could just tell them flat out, I'm not coming in the Monday after Super Bowl, and they're just like, yeah, we know. So,
And you have to go you have to sound way worse. There. Yeah.
or maybe the fact that my face was like flesh red all the time tipped them off about my drinking. It's like,
Yeah.
they'll never suspect.
I just where I work is obviously at school. What I do is I don't tell them, and when the kids come down, they're not there. They just go in the room and go crazy. It doesn't matter. So
Sounds good to me.
Do what
I'm
you want.
kidding.
Just do what you
Do
want
what
today,
you want.
kids.
Just do what you want. I'm not here, so I'll leave the note. I'm not here. Help yourself to all the candy, and they do, and then they go back to class.
Nice.
All right. Anyway, thanks, Will.
Anytime, Moses.
That's the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
Coming up on this Cardinals edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, halftime trivia, weather, fashion, injuries, numbers galore. But next, we take a look back at Sunday's epic win against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
So anyway, if they ask for a doctor note, I have found the best thing to do is to get some paper and make it look official, and then just write with your opposite hand so it looks like a doctor's writing. It works beautifully every single time. I swear it does.
Or you fill one out
You
online.
got to be. Yeah, there you go. You got to be careful. My boss actually called the doctor to make sure. One lady got suspended for that.
Oh,
dear.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Did he used to be in the service? Sorry.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, lucky guess.
Yeah.
One, since we're recording this, we didn't talk about this at all. Welcome back to the second quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We did not mention anything about advice on how to call in sick.
Nothing whatsoever.
This is episode 623 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A good time all the time. The second quarter, it's time to look back at that epic Seahawk playoff clinching win last Sunday over the Chiefs, 38-31. I was there, Little Mo was there, Will was there, and Matt, you saw it on the telly.
On the TV.
Tell us what your thoughts are about that game.
It's a very good, what I would call a complete game. It was, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to Jose for, it was very early in the morning for me over here on Christmas Eve because it was an early morning game over here. And I was a bit worried that there was going to be nobody on our game thread. But no, me and Jose, we ran the whole thing. It was very good.
I appreciate that.
But the hardest thing for me, Rob, was I ran out of reindeer GIF images because I like to do a GIF image every time we do a touchdown. And I was running out.
Yes.
And I years and suddenly realised there weren't that many. And I was like, shit. Picked the wrong animal there. It was a very complete game. I just really my only quick comment of it was the throw, the 2nd and 12 to Lockett that just went up forever somewhere and was a danger to aircraft and came down with snow on top. That was beautiful.
Yes,
just a beautiful throw. A beautiful throw. But I loved it. I loved every moment of that game. It was good.
It was amazing. Dustin, your thoughts?
It was Russell Wilson was on it. He had a lot of nice plays. It was a lot of fun. Obviously the wind is good, and that play Matt was just talking about, what I thought was pretty awesome about that is that fed right into Tyler Lockett's punt returning abilities. They would track the ball, and then it was basically a catch the same way you would catch a punt because it was so high up in the air.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, it's dropped like a stone. But, yeah.
Oh, and then Baldwin's catch that he had later on, that one-handed catch, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And there's all good things to say about that game. It was all kinds of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was, Zorny.
Well,
Mark?
I thought this was so original that maybe, and in hindsight, maybe not so much, but I love my term, ma-owned. See?
Ma-owned.
Ma-owned. Now, I couldn't be the only one who thought of that.
Nice.
Although Lamp likes to think so. But it was a great game. 200 plus yards rushing, right? 205,
yes,
or am I thinking of the? I get so confused because we do it so many times. Now, and you know, I'll tell you what was refreshing was to see we score, and then I think the first KC possession we actually forced them to punt. I almost coughed. I just expected KC to score right away. I did not. Yeah, I did not. I did not expect, to see. I just thought it was just gonna be crazy, and but we were in the game, and we were ahead, and I mean, we didn't have to. I was gonna say come from behind, but that's what it would have been if we had fallen behind by three touchdowns.
I think we were not in the lead. I think once 210 yards rushing, by the way, for Seattle, which is amazing. Will, you were there. I was there. It was incredibly loud. What was your feeling? You've been to a lot more games than I have as far as the crowd and as far as the game.
Well, Moses, some games you win because you outplay the other team. Some games you win because you get a lucky break here and there. Some games you win just because you want it more. You will it. This is going to happen. And this was that kind of win.
Well said.
Dixon's catch on that 3rd and 16 where he somehow got the first down. David Moore's catch on that 3rd down on our last touchdown drive where he somehow bowled his way across for the first down.
Yes.
Wilson getting the deep throws and the long run, Baldwin's catch. And the crowd too. It's just the whole feeling in that stadium was, we're not going to let you take this from us. This is ours. You're in our house. This is our win. You're not getting this. And I loved every minute.
I agree. Well said. Extremely well said. It was incredibly loud. Lil Mo and I, of course, had a great time. I want to thank Neil and E for allowing us to stay with him the whole time and helping us out ticket-wise, as he does every time we come up. Just Neil and E are amazing. I great love and respect for them, and I thank them publicly and privately many times over. But topping it off with a win was fantastic. It was the most exciting game I've ever been to, I think, ever in any condition. It was unbelievable. And like you said, just the will of the whole crowd not letting that. They weren't going to let that happen. The team wasn't going to let that happen. Russell Wilson doesn't get enough credit this year because we're running the ball so well. But he has been spectacular this year, and he was a big-time player in that game. Mahomes and Wilson were amazing. I have absolutely no ill will towards anybody on that Chiefs team, especially Mahomes. He played his guts out. I mean, I think he passed the final test was how's he going to do on the road in a hostile environment. They put up 31 points. They did not win, but I can't think you can blame him for that. And it was just an amazing experience to be there, but just an amazing game. When I got home and watched it on the TV, I went, wow, this is a game that if you had no interest in either team, you're going to be saying, wow, what an amazing game that was. So I think you got your money's worth out of that one without question. So, hats off to the Chiefs. I mean, they fought us all the way to the end. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. It was billed as, the two magic men in the NFL, and I think they both showed exactly why they're called that. So,
and Mahomes is just a great kid. I think it's weird. I was thinking in a way, now he's far from done, obviously, but in Russell Wilson, it's where I think he just turned 30, which sounds like a kid to me. being. That's all relative. Anyway, I'll be 50 next year, but it's almost like the torch has been passed a little bit to like Mahomes is like, I mean, he's what, 22? I mean, it's 23. I mean, it's crazy what he's doing when you think about it. And it's just, and already the media, he can't win primetime games. How many games does he have in his career?
Oh, give me a break.
I mean, he has 48 touchdowns. I mean, he's on fire, and he looks to be like a very, just a well-raised, person, which is just
anyone
refreshing.
who criticizes him after that game, or really anybody in that game, offensively, has got some serious issues.
His voice is a trip. I don't know. It doesn't match the face. He sounds older.
He does. And hey, what a great job King did on Kelsey. Kelsey was really kind of an MIA for most of that game, and I thought for sure he would tight end Kelsey would have a huge game.
Yeah.
And King just did a great job on him. I think he had 3 or 4 catches, maybe, not very many. And
we've had so many guys like King this year have just come out of nowhere. I mean, you got him, you've got Jordan Simmons, Will Dissly. We never expected him to be the threat in the receiving game that he was. I mean, tip of the cap to John Schneider this year. He's been he pulled guys in from all over the place.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it's a great offseason for sure.
Kelsey, 5 catches, 54 yards, which usually there's a touchdown in there and there's 100 yards in there. So, I mean, for Kelsey, that's kind of not his numbers. Usually it's, 7 or 8 catches for 100 yards, a touchdown. But 2 of my favorite parts at the game that I had to see on TV actually when I came back, when Mahomes threw that one ball and looked at his arm, I just laughed. I thought that's hysterical because he was like, what did I just do? He looked at his arm like, did that just happen? I thought that was funny. And I thought the face that Doug made in the camera after he caught that ball where he just had that sneer, that needs to be on somebody's like background or something, because that was awesome, where Doug just looked right in the camera and made that little Elvis sneer. And to me, that was awesome. Those 2 moments kind of, to me, typified the whole game. It's just they were doing things they didn't even know that they were doing. I mean, magical game.
A great photo for your phone's lock screen.
Doug, yes, it would, wouldn't it? Might have to look into that. If someone wants to do that and send it to us, that would be awesome. But I'll see if I can get that done. Doug's sneer would be awesome. And, savage, as he said at the end of the game. And he surely was. But hey, let's see who else was savage. Let's go to the 2-minute warning, and let's look at our posse prediction challenge in this game.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
All right, posse prediction challenge was quite interesting because it was a big win and a lot of big numbers. So there are a lot of numbers here, to be honest, to give out. As we look at the score, 38-31. Everybody here had 31-27 except for Matt, who had 31-28. That was not planned. Jose had 38-35. I had to give him a point for the closest score. And he also got 3 points for Seahawk points at 38. Matt did get 2 for the 7-point Seahawk victory. Matt, well done.
Thank you.
Prognostications. Will said Seattle would get 200 yards rushing. I said Seattle would get 180 yards rushing. We both got that. We got a point. And I think they were averaging 150, so I think that's a fair prognostication. 30 yards or more over your average, I think, is fair. For the game ball, a point to me, Jose, Little Mo, Marty Turner, Will for Wilson. I gave a point to Mike Pascal for Carson. Will, did you have Carson too?
Yeah, I had Carson.
Okay, I had Carson. Yeah.
That works
Sorry.
too.
Yeah, well. And a point to Statsman, Clark, Mark, and Dustin for Clark. Everyone but Matt and Tom. Tom said nobody, and Matt had Wagner. I don't feel like Wagner. You give it every week, but
6 tackles, 6 assists.
Sorry. Yeah.
We're so far behind.
For Wagner, that's a slow day.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Over and under was over. Everybody was over. Everybody got a point. I mean, week 15 looks like this. Jose at 6, Matt at 4, Moses at 3, Will at 3, Little Mo at 2, Mark Ty Turner at 2, Mike Pascal at 2, Statsman Mark at 2, Dustin at 2, and Tom at 1. Means individual scores after 15 games looks like this. Jose is the new leader at 33, Little Mo at 32, me at 27, Mike Pascal at 24, Tom at 24, Matt at 24, Statsman Mark at 23, Mark Ty Turner 21, Will 21, Dustin 20, meaning going into the last game, we have 2 more games now at least. Team 12, 134, Team Posse 115. It's 19 points. It stayed at 19. Didn't go up, didn't go down. But there was a lot of scoring there. We just didn't quite get... When it was 31-20...
If they had just finished at 31-27, we would have caught up.
It was 31-20, and I turned to Lomo. I said, they need to score and just stop. At 31-27, we would just kill everybody.
Stop scoring. Everybody stop.
Yeah, just stop playing. Go home. But they didn't.
The strange mouse just ran on the field and went and stopped.
Stop! I've got to win this.
Keep shouting something about prognostications and points. I don't know.
This is Dennis. This is how many years us against Team 12?
Third. Years? Is that third?
Is it third? Okay.
I think so.
And we have yet to win.
We have yet to win, but we have yet to be this close either. So this is interesting.
We feel like the AFL.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, this is.
We have not yet begun to fight.
That's right.
Yes.
We've got
now
one more
would be a good
coming
time
up.
to start.
A little too late for that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Yes, coming up so much more show. Old Lang Syne. What's that song mean? My whole life, I don't know what this song means. I mean, should old acquaintance be forgot? Does that mean we should forget old acquaintances? Or does it mean if it happened to forget them, we should remember them, which is not possible because we already forgot them? Yes, all answers to these questions and more just around the corner. But first, another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. Coming up next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world!
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Matt, Dustin, Stasman, Mark, and Will. And here come the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. All right. Musical rules as always. You know, you can ask the kids once in the 2 rounds. The topic is Seahawks, Cardinals, and New Year's Day. So, let's see. Our champion from last week was Will. Will, 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Yeah, let's get it started. I'm going 1.
Get it started. That's what Fergie does for us every show. Mark, 2, 3, 4?
Well, let's see. Which will be the non... I'll just go 2.
All right. Matt, 3, 4?
I'll go 3.
Dustin has 4. All right, here we go. Well, your question,
yes, sir.
I believe, is a football question.
That's a first.
But if you don't know, we're in trouble.
You know what? It is a first for you. It's been a while, hasn't it? All right. Well, the last time the Seahawks beat the Cardinals in Seattle was 2014. Isn't that sad? It's true.
Very.
2014, who had the most receptions in that game for the Seahawks? Cooper Helfett, Marshawn Lynch, or Tony Moeaki? That's right. You heard me. Tony Moeaki. Cooper Helfett, Marshawn Lynch, or Tony Moeaki?
I'm going to go Cooper Helfett because I remember he had this one catch where he had to flip over to get the first down. So
and you're doing it for Matt too, aren't you?
I gotta throw Matt a bone here.
All right. He said Cooper Helfet. Mosette, she said Marshawn Lynch. Little Mo said Tony Moyaki. You said Cooper Helfet. It is Tony Moyaki with 4. Who? I know, exactly. He had 4. Marshawn Lynch had 3. Cooper Helfet had 2. So, Mark!
You know, you can't stop Cooper Helfet. You can only hope to contain him.
Well, I think
And
would
Matt
love to
does.
contain. Yes.
Yeah.
Moyaki?
Moyaki.
Wow.
A court
Well,
order could do that too.
It's a fun word to say. So
Moyaki.
You know.
Moyaki. Moyaki.
Yeah, it's like the
Does he like
international.
clap his hands together to like heal people? Like in film?
Yeah, there you go. Miyagi.
We needed
That
it
could
in
be Mr.
2014.
Left
Yeah.
side, safe.
Miyagi Moyaki.
Walk right
Miyagi
side,
Moyaki.
safe.
Yeah.
Him and
Walk
Lofa
in middle.
Tatupu. Tatupu and
Just like
Moyaki
Chris.
would be a great show. Tatupu and Moyaki, they're cops.
They're cops.
All right, Mark.
Mele Kalikimaka.
Yeah, you're going to need it, Mark, because here's your question.
That's actually Merry Christmas. And
In Hawaiian, yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
so we all know that. Okay.
We
Sorry.
knew that. Mark, do you
I
know
didn't
this?
know that.
What does the city of Flagstaff, Arizona drop to celebrate New Year's Eve on the countdown? Do they drop a cactus,
Pants. It's their pants.
a pine cone, or a giant scorpion?
Oh,
A
wait.
cactus, a
Goodness.
pine cone, or a giant scorpion?
A cactus.
I like Dustin's answer.
What do they drop to celebrate New Year's Eve
a
on the
cactus,
countdown?
a pine cone, or a giant scorpion?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. God, I'll take acid thoughts for 300, Alex. You know what? I'm going to go with the obvious. I'll go with the cactus.
He's going to go with the cactus.
Yep.
Little Mo with the cactus. And I remember Mosette said, and I quote, "Please God be a giant scorpion." Unfortunately, it is a pine cone. Yes. They drop a pine. I know. I
that
know.
makes
They
sense.
drop
They
a
don't have
pine
any
cone.
trees.
I know. They drop a giant pine cone. I don't know what to tell you.
Actually, Flagstaff is kind of the northern part of the state. I don't know.
Well, that doesn't
Yeah.
give an excuse. Matt.
Yeah.
No.
Cactus
that-
would have been more fun. Sorry.
Yeah, it would have been. In 2014, that game we just talked about, the Seahawks beat the Cardinals. It was 19-3. There was one touchdown in that game. Who scored the only touchdown in that game? Was it Cooper Helfet, Marshawn Lynch, or Tony Moyaki?
I'm gonna say Cooper Helfet.
You're going to say Cooper Helfet.
I think we all knew that already.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not a
As soon
shocker.
as it was an option.
Yeah. Mosette said Cooper Helfet. Little Mo
'Cause she's
said
clever.
Tony Moyaki. It's Cooper. You damn psychics. All
Only
right.
question I could have got.
Yes. Dustin.
This was fairly appropriate. So
That one was. Dustin.
Yeah.
The first time the Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals was 1998. How many turnovers did the Cardinals have in that game? 2, 3, or 4?
3.
3. Little Mo said 2. Mosette said 3. You also said 3.
True.
Nah, it's 4.
Mhm.
They had 4. So we go to round 2, and Matt has a point. And the rest of you are just spectating. All right.
It's the same old
we're
song.
just heroes.
Matt, 5, 6, 7, or 8?
6, please.
All right. Will, 5, 7, 8.
8.
Mark, 5, 7.
2, 5.
Dustin gets 7. All right, Mark. Here you go. Your question is: in 2012, the Seahawks beat the Cardinals in Seattle 58-0. What a wonderful, glorious game that was.
That was a fun one.
That was.
Yep.
Here's my question, Mark. How many passes did Matt Flynn throw in that game? 8, 9, or 10? How many passes did Matt Flynn throw in that game? 8, 9, or 10?
Oh, man.
Our
Well,
coin toss god. Remember, he come out and the only thing he did all year was call a coin.
God.
Yeah.
You know what? I like this about myself. I can admit that I still have my Matt Flynn campaign button from 2012. And,
Yes!
you know, I've been wrong many times before,
I
but
can remember
never so.
Man Mark and I so
Never in
excited
such
that
a
we signed Matt
fantastic
Flynn.
fashion.
Yeah.
I go, Russell will never make it. Okay, Matt Flynn.
8, 9, or 10 passes.
Wow, that's he made $10 million. So I'm going to say 10 passes.
Wouldn't that be nice and even?
I'll just go 10.
Little Mo said 9. Mosette said 8. You said 10 for a great reason. Unfortunately, it's not true. He threw 9. Yeah, he threw 9.
He was in the game almost the whole second half.
He was for he threw that fourth and
totally worth 10 million.
I think he threw a fourth down pass. And they caught
is he on a roster or a milk
I don't
carton?
think so.
Has there been any signing of this guy?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
No, he went to the Raiders and was briefly back with the Packers, and now he's hopefully finding his life's work somewhere.
And did Miss Louisiana leave him yet because the bonus money ran out?
That's right.
For shopping?
That we do
Probably.
not know. Probably.
Inquiring minds.
Yeah. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Hi. In 2007, the Seahawks beat the Cardinals in Seattle 42-21. How many interceptions did Kurt Warner throw? 3, 4, or 5? Met the other Kurt Warner while we were up there at the bookstore. Great guy. Very friendly. The real Kurt Warner to Seahawk fans, the running back.
Oh, nice.
But what I didn't want to know is how many interceptions did that other Kurt Warner throw? 3, 4, or 5?
I'm going to ask the kids.
Ask the kids. Mosette said 3. Little Mo said 4. Nobody said 5.
I'll go 5 then because the kids was wrong.
Oh, you clever girl. You said 5.
Thanks.
Yes!
Wow.
It paid off.
It is just
Mark,
uncanny.
this is the rule. This is how you do it. You just go opposite the kids.
Opposite the kids. Oh, my God.
And I forget to ask him in the first place. That's how bright I am.
I'm not saying this stupid enough, but yeah, it's kids. You need that.
All right, Dustin.
Genetics.
Dustin, your question is about Miami, Florida. What do they drop? What do they drop in the city of Miami, Florida to signify New Year's Eve countdown? Is it a huge alligator? Is it a beach ball? Or is it an orange wearing sunglasses?
I just figured it was whatever they floated on over from Cuba on.
Oh, nice.
Address all of those to Dustin Care of 12-Man Fan Jam Show. What do they drop in Miami, Florida? A huge alligator, a beach ball, or an orange wearing sunglasses?
Saying orange wearing sunglasses.
Okay.
Sounds appropriate.
Little Mo said that sounds oddly specific, so I'll take that. And then once again, Mosette looked at me and said, "Please God, be a huge alligator."
Me and Mosette are so in tune.
And the answer is no. It's the orange wearing sunglasses. Yes.
Poor Mosette. So disappointed.
I know. Well, maybe she'll become Manly
Can you imagine
City.
though? Happy New Year. Drop a really angry giant reptile in the middle of a crowd.
That would actually be pretty epic.
Woo! He's feisty. Look at him up there swimming around.
Be like running with the bulls, kind of.
Yeah, really.
Did Anita Bryant come up with this idea?
Who knows? Who knows? Good question on that one. Hey, Will.
Yep.
Last season when the Seahawks and Cardinals played in Seattle, we don't want to talk about the score. Who had the most receptions for the Seahawks? Was it Baldwin, Graham, or Lockett? Who had the most receptions? Baldwin, Graham, or Lockett?
I don't recall too many touchdowns, so that takes Graham off the list, I think. I'm going to ask the kids.
Little Mo said Graham, and Mosette said Lockett.
I'm going Dougie.
Going one from Matt's playbook, are you?
Yeah, but it won't work for me.
You're going one with the kids. Didn't say. It paid off!
It always
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Doug had 4, Graham had 3, and Lockett had 3, if you're keeping score at
The
home.
kids are going to get offended and stop giving answers to these.
Yeah, I know.
I know. This is like the sports book. We're fading the children, Dennis. We're going
They
opposite.
don't listen to this.
Oh,
All right, so
actually,
They're
that's
far more intelligent than
we're listening to
that.
the show. What are you talking about?
Puts them in
Actually-
good company, really.
you're right.
Yeah.
We put him to sleep 25 minutes ago. If they had.
Yeah, basically. Hey, it's time for the final question. Maybe.
Are you sure?
There it is.
Question.
All right, final question is high-low. The closes without going over gets 2 points. We have a possibility, definitely, for a tie this evening. The order will go, Mark will get first guess, Will get second guess, Dustin will get third, and Matt will get fourth. Okay. Are you ready? Your question is this. For all of you, but we'll start with Mark. Mark, there's that beautiful ball that they drop in Times Square in New York City for New Year's Eve.
Yes.
How many Waterford crystal triangles cover that ball that is dropped in Times Square in New Year's Eve? How many triangles, Waterford crystal triangles, cover the ball dropped in Times Square for New Year's Eve?
Moses, you're a sick man.
I am.
These, Dennis? Are these individual clusters, or individual pieces or clusters?
How many Waterford crystal triangles cover the ball dropped in Times Square for New Year's Eve?
I'm like Charles Nelson Riley on Match Game. Let's see. Holy cow. First off, let me just say, I love the guy who typically gets the least amount of questions correct is the one leading off to try and set the bar here. So
yeah.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's been the rules for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But since I'm a noble simpleton, I'm going to say, let's see here. Holy cow. I mean, boy, I don't even know. I'm going to say 12,000.
12,000, okay.
To commemorate 12s.
Yes,
so I have no idea.
Will!
Yes?
How many Waterford crystal triangles cover the ball dropped in Times Square for New Year's Eve?
I'm going to go totally random number, 45,628.
Wow. Dustin! How many
Because I don't
triangles?
have a damn clue.
How many triangles cover the ball dropped in Times Square? How many Waterford crystal triangles cover the ball dropped in Times Square?
I don't know what those are.
Okay, well, just give me a number then.
The little shiny things on the ball.
This isn't Home Shopping Network.
All the
Find it on
shiny
your
things.
They're about the same size as Kona's dog tags. Just think of it that way.
All right. I'll say, I don't know, 500,000. Big number.
Okay. All right, Matt, here's where we're at. You got 500,000. You got 45,000, and you got 12,000.
I'm going to be clever. I'm going to try and be clever. I'm going to say 1.
Total price is right.
Because that gives me 1 to 11,999.
Fair enough.
Oh, please be 12,001.
Yeah,
That would be
please.
awesome.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
All right. The amount of Waterford crystal triangles that cover the ball dropped in Times Square for New Year's Eve is 2,688.
Yes! Oh!
Price is right. Paid off, baby.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
I knew
God
my answer
save
was
the
way
queen.
off when he laughed when I said it.
Well, come on. 500,000.
I don't know how big they are, how big that
Yeah,
ball
how
is.
big
I
are these stupid things?
Apparently, there's 2,600 of them. I don't know what that even
How
means.
big is the ball, for that matter?
I think
don't
it's
know.
12 feet wide, but I'm not sure.
I love the fact that you can
I remember, I
win
think
being
you asked us the weight of
2,400
it.
off.
I'm pretty sure one year he asked us what the weight of that thing was.
I did.
Yeah, that's
I've
right,
asked you
yeah.
about it before. The overtime question was going to be even worse, but we won't go to that. For now, Matt, order that trophy. Oh, congratulations, sir, as always.
Thank you.
Is
It's
that his
bit-
49th trophy or
Something like that,
51st,
yeah.
Jeez.
It's been another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
Underworld.
Of the world.
of the world. We'll be back on the second half of the show after this. Sex Pistols take us out.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Welcome to your third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam Show. Hey, you! Yes, you making a New Year's resolution you know you won't follow through on. Like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-man Fan Jam Show. Lots of pictures of Lil Mo and I on our adventure to Seattle this last Sunday. Look for our downloadable podcast on iTunes and Podbean. Do it now before you cancel the gym membership. Oh, it's too late. Quite a trip for Lil Mo and I out to Seattle last week. We were to see Will. Everybody else was away, but that's okay. Had a good time. We really enjoyed ourselves. Lil Mo had a great time. Like I said, we saw Kurt Warner. And he was a wonderfully gracious man, got his autograph in a book. So it was a good time. But now we move forward and we look at the game coming up now, and that is the Seahawks against the Cardinals. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern Standard Time, about 1:25 out on the West Coast. And Matt in England, that puts it at where?
I don't know, probably 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah,
it's 9:25. It'll be a 9:25.
Somewhere in 2025.
Yeah.
Probably. But this quarter, we do look at all the info, and we take a look at the health first of these two teams by asking our resident doctor, Dr. Dustin, for the 12-man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, give me the news!
Doctor, give me the news! Doctor.
All right, well, we're going to start off with the Cardinals. They have one player listed as out. That is tight end Ricky Seals-Jones. He has a shoulder injury. Nobody listed as doubtful, and two is questionable. Both are defensive ends, Marcus Golden and Benson Mayowa, who most of us will remember was a Seahawk.
Yeah.
Yep. Benson has a back/neck injury, and then Golden has an ankle injury, so we'll see how that plays out. And then moving on to the Seahawks, we have J.R. Sweezy, I guess, has been ruled out for the game, according to Brady Henderson. He was listed as doubtful on the Seahawks report. Then we have a bunch of people that are questionable. You got Fluker with his hamstring still, McDougald with his knee. All the rest of these are knees. I'm not going to say the injuries. Or, never mind, there's an ankle mixed in there. Teddy Thompson has an ankle. Deion Jordan's knee injury. Shad Penny's got a knee injury. They're all questionable. And personally, I say if we don't have to play them, don't. Let them rest. Get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect to really see too many of those guys.
So Ricky Seals-Jones is injured. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Did he get it for kissing a rose on the thorn on the wind?
Yeah, I think, yeah, he hurt his shoulder.
Kiss.
Batman.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, but
Ricky
Joel
Seals.
Schumacher,
Is that
Batman.
the same
So
guy?
we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody out there is affected by that song now.
He's
Forcing
probably
that kiss
attacked
on that
from
rose.
wolves. If you've ever seen the movie Never Stop Stopping, where he was attacked by wolves, is even better. But Ricky Seals-Jones, yeah, apparently not that seal. So we'll move on.
Different seal, yeah.
Yeah, but thank you for that report, sir.
No problem. That was an easy one this week.
All right, yeah, and no more CJ Procise, so I guess we have to worry about him.
Yeah, he's still on IR, just by eye.
General Halissimo.
Who?
Francisco
Franco is still there. You just joined us.
But
CJ Procise is still injured. All right.
Moses, he is starring in an M. Night Shyamalan film next month. So.
Oh, he is.
Wait, you got
exciting.
Yeah, exactly. How did he get insurance to be on set? There's just no way they're gonna.
That's the question. All right, enough of that. Let's. It's time where we look at weather and fashion for the game by turning to a guy living in England. Yes, it's time for the 12-man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matty from merry old England. Or Matt.
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. It's finally upon us, the final game of the regular season, the last home game too. So I thought, what better way to check the weather for this game than to ask the US National Weather Service. So I phoned them, and there was a recorded message that told me that all the weather in America has been shut down by the government. There will be a complete absence of weather. There'll be no rain, there'll be no wind, nothing. And even if anything does happen, nobody will be there to record it. So officially, it never happened.
Ooh, that's deep.
Now, what to wear for this game? Well, this is Arizona. We want to make those 5-inch finches feel at home. So I could just whip out my Linda Carter Wonder Woman outfit again.
Oh, my God.
But I'm not allowed, as Mark gets far too excited at the thought of it. And besides, it's at the laundrette after Dustin borrowed it for his work Christmas party. So it's not possible.
Yeah,
so
I'll get it back to you.
So instead, I thought, what is Arizona famous for, Dennis? What do you think? When you think of Arizona, what do you think of?
Cactus?
Holes.
Falling pine cones?
Holes.
Holes. The Grand Canyon, as it happens, so a-hole.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
So I suggest coming dressed as any giant a-hole, really. And the biggest a-hole in football that I can think of is Roger Goodell, commissioner of the NFL. So dust off your most boring blue suit, whiten your teeth to beyond blinding point, and spend the whole day thinking of new and imaginative ways to ruin the game we all love, while simultaneously pretending you definitely haven't seen any video showing players committing any form of crime at all. Just throw a Hawks jersey over that, and you should be good to go. That being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. So Moses, it's back over to you.
Oh, fantastic. You know, I had it ready. I just want to tell you.
Did you have it ready? I thought you probably
Well, you know, because last time you brought up Wonder Woman, and I know Mark gets excited.
I know. He's going to need tissues.
It got really confusing when Dustin borrowed it.
I'm just saying. We had it ready to go.
I was starting to think I took the wrong person.
Dustin's lost a little weight now. So he's all sort of...
There she is. There it was.
There it is.
Little Linda Carter from Arizona. Yeah.
In her satin tights, she's fighting for her rights.
I feel like Lionel Wagner with money burning a hole in my pocket.
That's not money, Mark.
Yes. The best thing to come from Arizona, probably, right there. Linda Carter. God love you.
That's
fair. She was the hottest like soccer mom ever. That's what
she was.
She was never. I never looked at her. You know. Anyway.
Somehow I doubt that.
I don't believe that one bit.
No, Cheryl Ladd, maybe. But anyway.
All right. Well, hey, guess what? That's the guy who always has our number. The man with numbers and tokens all around him, and apparently pictures of Linda Carter. It is time for Stats and Mark and the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Buy the numbers for our game and maybe a couple of teasers, Mark.
Ricky, don't lose that number. Ricky, don't lose that number. Ricky, don't lose that number.
I don't know, Dennis. You know, the tease turns out to be that I almost win, but seldom does it really work out that way. And between tokens and bets, man, it's just leaking money by the buckets full. Anyway, you know that $20 that Zeke threw into the Salvation Army bucket. I'll take that. Be awesome. Okay, now.
Oh.
So let's see, bets. Man, the end of the year. This is notoriously the most difficult week, you know, for a guy who already has difficulty picking. But nonetheless, we're gonna go with 2 underdogs and a favorite. So let's see. What do we got here? Oh, we got to see Cleveland. I want to see what's his name staring the Raven Harbaugh coach in the face. You know, after beating the Browns, beating the Ravens. Do it on a money line. Just go for it. Yeah, but anyway, but meantime, if you don't like that, take the 7 points. Then we have let's see, Indianapolis. Dennis's Colts. No, I'm kidding.
No, never my Colts. Not my.
We got Neckbeard.
Not my team.
We got Neckbeard in Lumberjack country in Tennessee, and we're gonna take the Colts because we don't trust Lumberjacks -3. And then finally,
cut down the trees. I skip and jump. I like to press wildfire.
Matt might be able to relate to this. You know, bears can be scary, and so I'm taking the Bears and the points to beat up the evil Viking in Minneapolis.
Wow,
your logic is spectacular. I can't imagine why. What's your record again?
You know what? It's funny. I was searching for how well I did a week ago or how poorly. I could not find that. I was 19-25 going into so we'll have to review last week's show.
Yeah,
anyway.
you will.
An errand for the kids. No, anyway. So I'm under 500.
Neckbeard against the Lumberjacks.
Neckbeard and Lumberjack. XFL teams right there. And then shoot, I don't know. I space on our own team.
You always do.
Don't know. Okay. So we are, this is just beautiful. You know, things are going well when we are favored by 14 points.
Oh my God.
17.
Wow.
So, and then with an over-under of, holy cow, seriously, 38.5? Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That makes
teeny.
That is very unusual for sure to be favored by that much. So they're counting on us basically holding the Cardinals to 3 points is what they're saying.
Wow.
So,
well, you know,
could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. Thanks so much. You know, Mark, I've always wanted to be a lumberjack. I just
The crash of mighty trees.
Yes.
Best girlie by my
Side, we'd sing.
We'd
Sing. Sing. Sing.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night.
All right.
Just been made a knight, Sir Michael Palin now. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sir Michael Palin. Genius. All right. Thank you for that wonderful report, Stats and Mark. Of course, you know, these numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting or anything at any time. Please do not take these or anything we ever say on the show seriously ever in your lives. Please just don't do it. And that's the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up next, it's our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for the game coming up between your Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We resolve to keep doing this show until we get it right. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. This is Statsman Mark. And when I'm not listening to Charo's greatest hits on 8-track tape, I'm listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Oh, Lumberjacks and the Neckbeard against the Lumberjacks. That's, man.
That's pretty awesome.
Wow.
It sounds like a country band, you know? Neckbeard and the Lumberjacks.
Neckbeard and the Lumberjacks. Ding, 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 ding.
Or something from like American Gladiators, you know? It's like...
There you go.
Okay, time for the fourth and final quarter of this episode of 12-Man Fan Jam Show. In this quarter, of course, we make up our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and those Arizona Cardinals in Seattle. Last game of the year, Seattle clinched the playoffs last week. Now it's just a question of who, when, and where they play. They'll either be a 5 seed or a 6 seed, depending on what they do, and depending on what the Eagles do, and depending on what the Vikings do. So, let's see what we all think of this game coming up. First, Team 12. Jose says, game ball to Clark, score 24-13 Seahawks. Honorary game ball to Fitzgerald, who gave me one of his gloves at my first Seahawks game. That does not surprise me. Larry Fitzgerald, class act.
Yeah, it's cool, dude.
Hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and let's get ready for the playoffs. Go Hawks. Merry Christmas to you, Jose. Happy holidays, and thanks for all you do, and always go Hawks, sir. Well done. Tom, 31-14 Seahawks. Carson gets 2 TDs. Game ball to Carson. Little Mo, 48-17.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, 3 or more sacks. Carson game ball. Mark Ty Turner says the fact that everyone had written off the Seahawks back in September makes it even more special. This may be the least likely Seahawk team to make the playoffs. I was trying to think of another one that compared, maybe 1983, Knox and Warner's first year, but the team had not been very good and faced the league's toughest schedule. Maybe 1999, Holmgren's first year, but there was a lot of expectation. 2010, Carroll's first year, but they got in the playoffs with a 7-9 record. This may be the closest. I still think 2018 will remain the least likely candidate for the playoffs. He says Hawks over Cards 21-20. Carson runs for 150 yards and game ball to David Moore. Mike Pascal. Arizona, we say no deja vu for you. Despite beating us at home last year, week 17, the last game I attended, thank you not. The Hawks played the Boyds close under the sun, so this time it should be the requisite pantsing. Score, Seattle 24, Arizona 13. Prediction, the bloom is off the rosin. More INTs for him than Russ. Game ball, Captain Carson. All right, Team Posse, Matt.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right, actually. I'm all right. So no one's picked the birds to Super Pinches to win, have they?
No, they
and I'm not going to do it either.
Good.
So I'm going to say it's going to be Seahawks 24, Arizona 10.
All right.
I'm going to give Carson the game ball.
All right.
And okay, let's go with Carson with 2 touchdowns.
Oh, Carson with 2 touchdowns. All right, well done. Well, that was right to the point. Will, hi.
Hi, Moses.
It was great to see you. Hey, Will, have you ever gone to the Funko plant out there?
I have indeed.
It was awesome. Did you pick up a Tom Servo and a crow?
No, but I picked up a pinky and a brain.
Oh, nice. I did pick up Tom Servo and crow. And just between Tom,
nice.
Between Will and I, yeah.
But of course.
Yes. Sorry, prediction, sir?
Well, you know, the last time the Seahawks played the Arizona Cardinals at home when Bruce Arians was not the coach, we beat them 58-0. I don't think it'll be quite that good this time, but I am going 27-9 Seahawks.
All right.
For prognostication, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think Josh Rosen has thrown a touchdown pass in about a month.
Okay.
I think he throws one today, this week, but to us. I'm predicting that Trey Flowers gets his first interception and takes it to the house.
Flowers pick 6. That would be awesome.
And
well deserved,
my game ball is going to Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett. Well done. You remember beginning of the year, everyone was like, why'd they sign him? Not everybody, but a lot of people were going, why'd they sign him that big contract? Yeah, look at his stats.
Now everybody's like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. Statsman Mark, hey.
Gee.
How you holding up in the land of the 49ers?
Well, if I listen closely, I can still hear Sherman barking about that win a couple weeks ago. So it's been a long year for him.
That's all
as well.
he's got, bless his heart. He can have it in an early
He just,
exit.
like a bottle of Chivas. He's like, I got the win, at least, man.
Oh, now he says he wants Earl Thomas. Okay, fine. Goodbye.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right.
I know. Talk about people that we don't even talk about anymore.
I know, both of them.
And he's like a Hall of Famer. Go figure.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. I'm going to say for the game, I think that I'm not making this the prognostication because it'd be kind of difficult, but I'm going to say that there'll probably be a defensive touchdown in this game by us. I'm going to call it 34-16. Seattle. And I'm going to say RW has 3 touchdowns passing.
Oh, passing? Okay.
Yep. And I'm going to give the game ball to is Baldwin playing? I don't know.
As far as I know.
Or is it kind of...
Well...
that's up in the air.
Or no, that's... okay, so I'll go Lockett. A live improv on my... There you go.
Wow, how do you do it, man?
Well, you know what? We're so far behind. It'd be just like me to give a game ball to a guy who's on the bench. I mean, that wouldn't, that'd be a perfect lamp moment for Team Posse.
It's happened. It's happened to me. Dustin, hey man, how you holding up?
I'm doing well. You?
All right. How's Kona? Is she hanging in there now?
Yeah, I'll get her back out of the kennel when we're done here.
If you put vodka in her dog dish, she'll pass right out. Free advice for you.
She might.
Wait,
crap all over the place.
Yeah, disclaimer: I do not think that dogs should have vodka in their dog dish. People, so I don't want to.
She's 21 anyways.
Bourbon. I was kidding. Yeah.
Bourbon.
Yeah,
bourbon. Way to go, yeah.
All right, Dustin, what do you got for us?
Well, I think the Seahawks are going to have a lead, probably a large lead for most of the game, and because of that, I think that's going to end up. They're going to be able to play like a preseason game where the starters come out sometime in the second half.
That'd be nice.
I hope so.
Yeah, because of that. I'm going to go back to a prognostication I had earlier this year that didn't happen. I'm going to say Shaquem is going to get a sack.
Oh,
yeah, he's going to get some more playing time. Yep. I'm giving my game ball.
Awesome.
Yeah, it would. I'm going to give the game ball to Frank Clark. I think he's going to be like a wrecking ball out there, just playing his ass off till he gets in the game. And then I say the Seahawks are going to win 31-9.
Nice. Wow, that'd be so cool if Shaquem gets a sack. 9?
Mm-hmm.
9. All right, it's my turn. So after an amazing home game where Little Mo and I witnessed firsthand and in person how incredibly stressful rooting for this team can be for Seahawk Nation, the Seahawks look to finish the season against the Cardinals. This is like watching Godfather 3 after going to Godfather 1 and 2. But stay tuned because like Godfather 3, there are some important questions that are going to be answered ahead. Josh Rosen, who, you know what? Last time we played the Cardinals this year, everyone got all butthurt because I mentioned Rosen's Jewish background. So let me be perfectly clear with a disclaimer. I don't care if you're white, black, green, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, atheist, gay, straight, left-handed, right-handed. I don't care. I will not like you equally the same if you're playing my Seahawks. Now, that being said, the newest great Jewish hope in sports, Josh Rosen, who looks like if Chris Collinsworth and a bird had sex and produced a baby.
Oh, jeez.
Comes into this game with his 3-12 team just hoping to stay healthy enough to get the hell out of town for an early NFL vacation. Probably somewhere nice with a reasonable prices and a nice kosher deli where the MLT mutton and lettuce tomato sandwiches and the mutton is nice and lean. Larry Fitzgerald, who must feel like he's done something terrible in a past life to deserve this fate, might be in his last game as a Cardinal. The GoFundMe for his leaving Arizona is up over $50,000 at this point. I've always liked Fitzgerald, and I've always pitied him. Well, except in weeks when he plays my team. Sorry, Fitzy, not this week. Your dreaded butt is going down. Watch my game ball, Chris Carson, run over the Cardinal defense like a blitzkrieg rolled. Too soon? Bunch of voices, I swear. Okay.
Wow.
Watch Michael Dixon drop kick an extra point. That's my prognostication. He's going to kick that ball like the Germans kick. I really need to proofread this before I record. And watch the Seahawks go into playoffs like butter on a roll, or maybe a nice bagel. as they win by the score of Seattle Seahawks 34, Arizona 5-inch Red Finches 17. Book it! Oh, wow.
All complaint letters, please address them to Moses, care of the 12 Man Fan Jam Show.
Well, it looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-Man Fan Jam Show to a sad close. We're so glad you decided to waste some time with us. We hope you laughed a little and maybe you learned a little bit. What did we learn? Well, we learned that we can give great advice on calling in sick. Mm-hmm. We learned that Moyaki is fun to say. We learned that George Fant needs to run a jet sweep. And
that has to happen.
Fingers crossed.
Statsman Mark never looked at Linda Carter. And CJ Procyse is still fighting to remain injured. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our news hound Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark, Dustin as the Beaver, Mike Pascal, Tom, Jose, Mark, Ty, Turner, Roger Goodell, Mozette, Little Mo, Neil Lomax, Aeneas Williams, Dennis Green. This is Moses saying, until next time, as always, go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
I wasn't over the top there, was I? Did I?
They are who we thought they were.
They are who they thought they were, yes.